Joining me now is Cory Doctorow. He's going to help us surf the net. He's been working with computers since he was 7, and now he's an independent computer consultant and programmer. Okay, Cory, let's get our feet wet. Show us how to surf the net.
Okay, well, when you're talking about playing around on the internet, you're talking about one of two things: playing with yourself, playing with other people. Playing with yourself more or less means hanging around on the World Wide Web, which is a new way of putting together information on the internet that's very intuitive. This is the amazing Fish Cam, and it's a World Wide Web page from California. It's from the Netscape Corporation. What it is it's a camera pointed at a fish tank in California. We click a button, it sends us a picture from the fish tank. This particular picture has no fish in it because
and I pay $300 a year for that.
And that's what you're paying $300 a year for. What makes this cool is not the fact that you can see fish. What makes this cool is the fact that you can point that camera at anything. Cameras can be on every corner in the world. I mean, and if you can request that data from anywhere else in the world over the World Wide Web, you're laughing. I mean, you thought Rodney King was something. What happens when I can have a look anywhere? It's one of the really neat things that's changing the way we think about space and presence and what it means to be somewhere. Another big change that the internet is wreaking is the Internet Underground Music Archive. It's changing the way we distribute music. This is IUMA, the Internet Underground Music Archive, and it was something started by a couple of university students who wanted to make music available, kind of music that you'd hear on college radio, over the internet. And so if you're an independent band like Apollo Creed from Seattle, you can send them your press kit, your logo, your music, your bio, and all I have to do is come here and click a button, and down comes your single.
So it's getting rid of radio and record companies and marketing and promotion?
Exactly. It means that no longer do bureaucrats control the means of distribution and production for this stuff. It means that if I'm a musician, I make music, and that's all I gotta do, and then make it available, and people can come right to me. I mean, really, what value does a producer add in this world?
What about movies? You've got music. What about movies?
Tank Girl, one of my very favorite movies. They did a page because they're very high-tech, and they make available some video clips. So here we've got a list of a whole bunch of video clips we can download from the film, and here we have the actual clip itself.
Now that's not quite the same as seeing it on the big screen.
No, it's like someone issued a commemorative postage stamp of it, actually. What makes this cool is that it's the internet in its larval stage. When this turns into a butterfly, when it hatches, what this can translate to is video on demand. This can translate to me deciding I want to watch a Welcome Back Kotter rerun and just requesting it, and it comes down the line, and there I am watching it. It means that the networks disappear, and all that happens now are transactions between the people who made the content and people who watch it. Now the big problem here is that if you've got however many tens of millions of people producing content and making it available on the internet, there's no way to sort out the good stuff from the bad stuff. Presumably the CBC, there's someone whose full-time job it is to watch a whole bunch of stuff and decide which of it will be appropriate for their viewing audience. No one does that for you on the internet, presumably. Nobody does that for you on the internet for money, but what there are a lot of volunteer guys like this guy, Justin, who puts together his links from the underground. He spends 10 hours a day as a stone internet freak, sitting there in front of the computer, coming up with neat things to connect to his page. And then you come by and you click a button and away you go. You're looking at links of things that interested him.
So like he's a volunteer editor? Yeah,
he's the future of the universe as far as I'm concerned. Anyone can make stuff. Anyone can listen to stuff, but it takes someone really smart to find and identify the good stuff.
He's doing that for free, but who is paying for this? Somebody's got to be paying for this.
Who pays for the internet? It's a good question. The internet isn't owned by anyone. The internet is, bits of it and pieces of it are owned by different people: universities, governments, municipalities, phone companies, cable companies, you name it, high-tech research firms, private corporations. There's some speculation now that at some point we're going to see a real increase in the expense of internet services, because right now it's being subsidized by all of these organizations. And there's a lot of stuff out there that they might not want to continue subsidizing, like pornography, revolutionary manifestos, instructions for making firebombs, you name it, it's out there. So that's the World Wide Web.
How do you go from just having a one-on-one relationship with the net to group surfing?
Groups and direct communication with other people. First thing you got is email, which you talked about. Right. It's me sending information to you or list of people. The next big thing is the Usenet. And the Usenet is a collection of thousands and thousands and thousands of groups of people talking about different subjects. Picture it like a giant corkboard marked off with tape into squares, each of which has a title. You can go up, I can go up, write a note down, scribble it up, post it to the board, someone else can come by, have a look at it, and post their response. Except millions of people do it. It's said that somewhere on the Usenet, someone has the answer to every question you've ever heard of. You just got to find the right place to ask it and ask it in the right way.
Is there stuff that you need to know about how to pose questions?
There's a whole bunch of stuff that you should do before you plunge into your first Usenet discussion. First thing, lurk. Hang around there, see how people talk to each other. The second thing, get the FAQ, a frequently asked questions file, or FAQ. Here's the FAQ for Alt Folklore Urban, which is an urban legends news group, and this has got a listing of every single urban legend they've been able to find and the research they've done to determine whether it's true. So if you want to find out if Mikey's stomach exploded when he ate Pop Rocks and drank Coke, this is the place to go. The third thing you got to do is ignore the flames. Sometimes on the Usenet, people shout at each other. It's like yelling at someone out the window of your car. It's just like, boom, they're past you, you're past them, you've yelled something awful about their mother, you have no consequences. And it feels like that on the Usenet, and it's really easy to forget that there's a human being at the other end. When you get flamed, and you will, ignore it, because you don't need to, because the rest of the world doesn't need to see your argument with someone else.
What about muds and moos?
Muds and moos. Muds and moos are the marriage of something called the Internet Relay Chat, which is like a giant party line with 1,000 channels on it, with thousands of rooms where people hang out and talk at each other, and you type on your keyboard. I see it on my screen, no matter where you are in the world, and no matter where I am in the world. And these people are hanging out, chatting at each other.
Wow. There's a million places to go. What would your advice be for someone who's just getting onto the internet now?
Okay, the one thing I gotta say is the internet's cool, the internet's fun, the internet's interesting and compelling. And if that's why you want to learn to use the internet, great, go for it. But if you're worried about getting lost if you don't know about the internet, it's going to be easy. You're not going to have to sweat this stuff. There's no one taking telephone lessons today, but at one point it was like a hobbyist medium. The internet right now is for hobbyists and people who are interested in it, but you don't have to be interested in it.
Finally, guilt-free advice.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
No problem.